Kraven the Hunter from Spider-Man 2 was one of the most threatening villains in the entirety of the Insomniac games. Seeing as he killed nearly all of Spider-Man's villains from the first game, I thought it might be a fun idea to integrate him into the world of Arkham and see how he would do. Arkham Asylum is home to some of the most dangerous villains in the entirety of all of Gotham, and I thought it would be just a fun idea to see how he would do if he was attempting to beat the entirety of everything that happened in the Arkham Asylum game. In this hunt, Kraven would be dropped into the Arkham universe, with Batman and company either being busy with other work or simply not existing. Kraven would be dropped into the world with enough time to not only learn about Arkham Asylum, but prepare in advance for any of the villains that he might encounter, as a key part of his character is prepping for each and every single thing that he's going to have to go up against. To start off this video, I would first like to discuss what some of Kraven's abilities are to help you guys get a grasp and understand why I decide to do what I do. Kraven has peak human physical abilities while also taking an unidentified potion which greatly enhances his physical powers. He is also able to easily go toe-to-toe with battle-hardened superhumans such as Scorpion and overpower them through brute strength alone. Kraven also has displayed a complete resistance to Scorpion's toxin, which would be a major help in taking on someone like Scarecrow. Kraven is also a master combatant, utilizing a multitude of different weapons and also outmatching almost all of his opponents in pure technique alone. With his enhanced abilities and decades of honed combat experience, Kraven has held his ground against Spider-Man and posed a very formidable threat and challenge to Venom. Kraven is also a skilled tactician, formulating complex strategies and using quick thinking in the heat of battle to adapt to his adversary. As previously stated, Kraven extensively researches his prey before battling them to understand them and better provide an advantage with him to be able to actively beat his opponents way easier than he would be able to otherwise. Hence why I'm actively giving him the opportunity to do this in his hunt. With all of that said though, let's get this video started with the first encounter that Kraven would have. Victor Zsasz. Zsasz, in all honesty, wouldn't be a threat to Kraven, and he would truthfully just be a warm-up for him. Kraven has already been shown to be able to deal with very high-level threats in his own world, and a street-level villain like Zsasz would most likely be one-shot by someone of the likes of Kraven, the same way that he was by Batman in his own game. Kraven, in all honesty, is just way too strong for someone like Zsasz to be able to even think about possibly handling. He has shown way too much of abilities and has outclassed Zsasz in so many different ways that it would really just be a very idiotic thing to think that Zsasz would even be able to stand a chance in any fashion, in any form of the light. Hence why we'll just go and dive straight into the next person that he would have to deal with. The Titan Henchman would be the next villain up on Kraven's chopping block, and while the Titan Henchman has fairly high strength due to the Hidden Serum, his strength is really nothing compared to the likes of the Insomniac cast and would be taken out fairly quickly by someone like Kraven. It took Batman a little while, it didn't really take him too long to be able to defeat the Titan Henchman, and Kraven would be able to do that far way quickly and would be able to get that out so far so fast. Most of the people that he's dealt with in the entirety of his own game, like Rhino, like really anybody, stacks up so much higher and has more strength than the Titan Henchman by far, so it wouldn't really be a very big issue for him to be taking this guy out so quickly. Scarecrow would be the next person that Kraven has to go up against, and this fight actually would be interesting. The only person that Kraven has fought that is actively comparable to someone like Scarecrow would be Scorpion, which we have already stated that Kraven was able to get hit by his stinger and not be affected. This feat alone would most likely mean that Kraven would be able to take the Scarecrow's fear toxin with little to no effect, which would easily mean that with Kraven's speed and agility, he would be able to avoid the Scarecrow's gaze either way and be able to do something similar to Batman in terms of shining the bright light at him and really kill him instantly, so there is no need for a second or a third fight. Scarecrow, yes, while not really being known exactly how Kraven was able to deal with something like the stinger from Scorpion, would still be easily taken down due to the fact that Kraven is just so fast and would be able to avoid getting hit by Scarecrow's gaze. So either way, it just ends up the same. So if anybody of you say that Kraven wouldn't be able to fight the Scarecrow's fear toxin, that reasoning alone, the fact that he wouldn't get hit by his gaze, just calls it into quits right there. Bane would be the next person that Kraven has to go against, and for all intents and purposes, Bane is the closest version that we have that would be an Arkham version of Kraven. But Kraven's mythical elixir is far better than that of Bane's venom, even mixed with the Titan serum. Yes, Kraven would not have already known that Bane would have the Titan serum injected into him, so that would be a very big difference from what he had already prepared for, but Kraven already knowing how Bane works would still easily make it to be where Kraven would probably end up getting the win in some form or format, via Kraven having either some sort of knife or dagger prepared to deal with Bane. Although the Titan serum, as I said, would make him stronger, it just wouldn't be strong enough to deal with someone of the likes of Kraven, who has been fighting Spider-Man Miles and Spider-Man Peter with the active Venom symbiote and the entire symbiote entirely, and no one in Arkham really stands to something of that entire length and strength and like that entire speed point. Harley Quin would be the next person up, and honestly, it would be the exact same situation as something like Zsasz. While yes, Harley does have more people around her, having the couple goons that would be there to fight with Kraven, it doesn't really make too much of a difference because of the fact that Kraven is so strong and Harley is just honestly so weak compared to him. Even with all of the henchmen backing up Harley and the fact that Kraven probably wouldn't even really need to deal with Harley if he wanted to, he just wants to deal with the entirety of Arkham, so he's just going through everybody, he would still be able to just defeat Harley probably well before she even knows what was coming to her. This fight would be over so quickly, Harley probably wouldn't even notice that the fight had started, and most of the henchmen would be down with all in one singular punch. Killer Croc, while being immensely powerful, would most likely still lose to Kraven, only due to the fact that Kraven had time to prepare for every single situation and anybody that would possibly be in Arkham. Specifically meaning that most likely before this fight, Kraven would have done all of his research on Killer Croc and figured out that he was weak to something like electricity and cold. Which means I would honestly see Kraven doing something along the lines of breaking into GCPD and taking the Electrocutioner's gauntlets and using them to be able to fight Killer Croc to make him as weak as he possibly can be. As I already said, Killer Croc is extremely strong, and it would most likely be more of a challenge than anybody else that he's faced as of right now, specifically due to that strength. But Killer Croc would probably either not be able to get close enough to Kraven if he didn't want to, or if Kraven did want to like have it be some kind of close quarters combat, he is still well farther stronger than someone like the lines of Killer Croc. We honestly don't know how I would compare it to something like Killer Croc to anybody in the Insomniac universe, but in all fairness, he wouldn't completely compare very much to anybody of those lines. Because we've already seen the fact that Kraven being able to go with any people and go against any person in the entirety of the Insomniac universe would still well surpass someone of the likes of Killer Croc. So Kraven would most likely take him out without too much of a difficulty, let alone just using the gauntlets to just completely fry him in any standpoint. Poison Ivy could potentially prove to be a problem for Kraven only due to the fact of him not expecting her to have Titan infused inside of her. Because of the fact that she has this and it makes her so much more powerful, Kraven would have to reorganize his thoughts on how to take her down, but in the end it really would end up being something not extremely too hard for him to do. It would take him a little while to start figuring out and adapting to how she's moving due to the fact that she is extremely strong in this state, but he would probably eventually be able to replicate Batman's display of attacking her weak points and breaking her mental connection to her plants to take her down in the end. While she does have this extreme amount of power and all of this defenses and everything against her working for her, it just wouldn't be enough to deal with someone of the likes of Kraven, and it would really end up being a very bad counteractive for someone like her, because of the fact that he really could just use the fact that she has such a connection to the plants to attack the plants and harm her, to the point that he actively has better chances to actively beat her down and take her out. Kraven against the Joker would be a little bit of a different story, due to the fact that, yes, he also has Titan, and this is Titan Joker that he would be facing. And while Joker, yes, is a very adept fighter and extremely confident in the way that he moves, the fact that this is a Titan version of him doesn't really change the fact of he losing by too much drastically. Titan Joker would still fairly easily go down, due to the fact that Kraven could easily take down a Titan henchman, and while Joker has better moves and could be able to move fairly easily, Batman was able to take him out with an explosive gel-laced punch, and Kraven's punches are way stronger in terms of the fact of him being able to do something along like that. Kraven would just be able to take out Joker fairly easily, and being able to honestly go head to head with someone like Spider-Man, like I've already said, that are easily stronger than any Titan infused villain, could be really easily just said that Joker just is taken out. And this, even if this was just like a normal base Joker, that would just make it so much easier, because he would just die almost instantly by any singular punches that Kraven would try to throw. So, in summary, based off of everything that we've really seen from Kraven, he would far outclass any of the Arkham Asylum villains and would easily be able to beat them if he had interacted with them. I have given you guys just basically what my interpretation of this being and happening in any kind of situation would be, but obviously this is actively down to your own opinions and interpretations. If any of you guys actively think that Kraven would be able to lose to any of these villains, please put it down in the comments. And if you guys would like me to do a full series on this where I have Kraven go against villains from Arkham Origins, Arkham Knight, or anything else like that, please put down in the comments too, and just give me your full-on opinions on everything down in the comment section below. But with that said, I will see you guys in the next video. If you guys did happen to enjoy this video, YouTube thinks that you guys would most likely enjoy these two videos.